version is way from creation.
So vegan word, sound is power, let me tell you say a word. Sound is power, let me tell you say a word. Make a move and don't say a word. Have you heard? Well listen this word. Sound is power, let me tell you say a word. Sound and power, let me tell you say a word. You have the power, now you heard. Make you move and don't say a word. Have you heard?
The importance of us with this short procession, whether it's at the original starting point or this starting point, is to know that it is spiritually significant. This march is the march that symbolically represents the marching of our ancestors who were hunted down and captured throughout all points of the interior of Mother Africa. And they were marched not on highways, not on byways, but on a rugged terrain, many times naked with just a loincloth. And they will march down to this coast, to this fort, dungeon, and many others that were like it, that also replicated it. So our march is the march from our freedom to our enslavement and our incarceration in these dungeons. Our march is also the march for freedom and liberation. Our marches also represents every time any one of us stood up for that freedom and for that liberation, stand up and said that we are a people and we deserve to be treated with the humanity of any other member of humanity. So remember, we're not just walking across the street. We're walking a walk of memory. We're walking a walk of history. And it must be made real in our mind that we transform our minds right now, today, that we're not going on some sort of just cosmetic journey. We're not going for just an evening of entertainment. We're going on an evening of remembrance. And we are invoking the spirit of our ancestors that they will allow us to disturb them in the night to pay tribute to them. We come to you this evening and we ask that you will lead us into this castle dungeon fort for this evening's Reverential Night program. We come and ask you that you will lead us in this evening's ceremony to pay tribute to our ancestors and to pay tribute to the legacy of all of our forefathers and foremothers who suffered and who triumphed, who struggled and were victorious, and whose souls are symbolized in this edifice and those like it along this Gulf of Guinea.
You are most welcome. Our ancestors have been waiting. Their spirits and on their shoulders we stand. Without them, we are nothing. It's their strength, it's their resilience, and whatever they have been able to do, that we are here this evening. So follow me, and I will lead you to where they are.
tonight to pay this tribute. And it's our oneness that is the greatness of what we're doing here. No matter where we come from, whether we are resident here in Ghana, we come from other places on this African continent, or from the many places that we have been scattered in the diaspora, we're here as one this evening. And I think that we deserve to celebrate that oneness that we share in spirit and mind and body and soul tonight. Before I share my few words of expression on behalf of the Panifest Foundation this evening, it was made mention earlier that we lost a very valuable member of the Panifest Foundation and the person of Ilolo Garvin. But he is also joined by another great loss that we had to the Panifest Foundation, and the person of Miss Macy Howell. She was also a board member of Panifest. It's not easy to take the blow of valuable individuals because it's the dedication of our own people, our own selves, that brings life to ideas and concepts like this. So as we pay the tribute to Ilolo Garvin, I'd like us to just take a few seconds, because we will do justice in this program. But because they were colleagues of mine and many of us sitting here, I'd like to just know that we fill that vacuum this evening. We feel it. But nothing would be greater tribute to them than to make sure that we carry on in the mission that they dedicated themselves to, and the mission that we dedicate ourselves to. Look around at yourselves and look at the beauty of Mother Africa, because the beauty of Mother Africa is in her people. The suffering of Mother Africa is in the suffering of her people. We come from different walks of life tonight to be here. And this reverential evening is to pay tribute to our ancestors, but it's also to pay tribute to ourselves, because we are the embodiment of our ancestors. And just like Usa Baremba shared with us, we honor ourselves and we honor our ancestors. And wherever it is that we gather, we should always remember them, because they are us and we are them. So let's celebrate tonight as we hold this evening reverential. When this idea and concept was established over 2 decades ago, it was said that we were celebrating Panifest, and then when Emancipation Day was introduced into the Panifest celebration, we said when we celebrate emancipation on August 1st, it's a celebration. But we can't celebrate until we remember the struggle of our ancestors and those who allowed us to be here by their struggle. So let's give a round of applause, not because a round of applause, but because we want to make noise for the ancestors tonight with our clapping of hands to let them know that we appreciate them. They are our heroes. They are our heroines. Without those strong African men and women who were determined to be free, we wouldn't be here, not only in our physical form. I'm not talking about we wouldn't be in existence in a body, but we wouldn't be here with our free mind, with our mind to resist, with our mind to defy, with our mind to conquer, with our mind to be victorious in our African self and our African being. You didn't think with a conscious mind without that mind coming from somewhere. You didn't think to be free and be defiant without having come from somewhere. And it comes from our ancestors. It comes from those who went before us. Over 100 years ago, the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey was at the height of his movement in 1921. We're 100 years later. Marcus Garvey wasn't allowed to step foot on this continent. But look where you are, those who traveled across that Atlantic. You're in Africa. You're in Ghana. Don't take that for granted. He gave his life to plant an idea, and you and I are that idea. We're the living embodiment of that aspiration. And that roll call can be many more names besides Marcus Garvey. Names that we won't remember. Names that are not in anybody's history book. Names that people have forgotten, but they laid their lives down so we can proudly get on an airplane or a boat, whatever way you travel here, and come to Mother Africa and walk on this sacred soul and say not only is Africa sacred, but African people are sacred. One of the principles of Panifest was established on was to tell the truth about the history of African people. And that's why we've set this space and time. that we come together through all the days of Panifest, through our colloquium, through our rituals, through our programs, was to see each other, to commune with each other, to interact with one another, and to take advantage of the forum and the platform that has been set, that we get to know this African family all over again. So let's express love this evening, let's share love this evening, let's appreciate the evening, and continue to give honor to our ancestors. Ashe, amen. Freedom! 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 Free means to liberate, dome means the mind. Freedom means liberate the mind.
And what that means is that it's not going to be a social media post, it's not going to be on Instagram, it's not going to be on Twitter, it's not going to be on TV, but it's going to be a frequency, a vibe, a mood that will lead you all to the same place. Our ancestors' resiliency has guided us here today. No one had to call you, no one had to tell you, your frequency led you here. Their love, their resiliency, and their legacy led you to this very place today. This experience has taught me the importance of observation and not being judgmental. The value of understanding the people of this land and the value of this land on which we stand. The power of a people united under one nation, under one goal. What I would take away from this experience is prayer still works. Don't stop praying. The promises of the Most High are sure. The Most High promised we will be enslaved because of our ways, but he turned around and said, if we will turn from our ways, he will hear our land and we'll be able to hear from heaven. And I will also leave you with this. Change is not coming, change is now. So what legacy will you leave behind? Will it be cars and riches and clothes, or will it be the social impact? The same thing our ancestors did for us. They fought knowing they would never see us here today. They fought for people they would never meet. But they had the power and the love to do that. So what legacy will you leave? What fight would you fight? So ask yourself, what legacy will you leave behind? Again, change is not coming, change is here now. What is your change? Thank you.
I kept waiting for you to come and rescue me, but that never happened. Hi, honey, I'm home. Do you know that they never told us over there how beautiful we are? They told us not to love you, not to love ourselves. They said you were savages, running around with clothes not on, swinging from trees, living with monkeys, lions, and crocodiles, and that you eat people. Hi, honey, I'm home. You know, only 1% of the Africans stolen from here even own a passport to be able to visit and see for themselves the lies they've been fed. Alas, 99% are still in slumber. They still hate you. Some hate themselves. Hi, honey, I'm home. Now, I've heard rumors that you think we, the stolen ones, are lazy, shiftless, violent, rude, and without culture. But let me tell you the reasons for these sweeping generalizations, and that they are baseless, unfounded, and they lack, okay, some are true. But not all of us, but far too many of us believe the lies we've been fed the past few hundred years. That we are inferior, worthless, stupid, ugly, can only perform physical labor, sex, athletics, singing, and dancing. Hi, honey, I'm home. So glad to be back. So very glad to be back. Do you know that they never told us that we were of the Ashanti, the Ga, the Ewe, the Fanti, the Igbo, the Zulu, that we invented thinking, that astronomy, astrology, anatomy, the tides of the ocean and the structures of the pyramids, we mastered this. That we sat on stools of gold, had diamonds between our toes, and that we connect to the earth's soil and universal elements naturally. They completely control the narrative of us, and it's been all bad. Hi, honey, I'm home. I'm here to immerse myself in the me I knew not, to unlearn the falsehoods and reteach my truths. I've come to reclaim my grandmother's great-grandmother's grandfather's land, my birthright. Hi, honey, I'm home. Midopa, Midopa. I know you don't readily recall me, but you will. You will know me, love me, and in unity, we will right the wrongs. In unity, we will reclaim our greatness. On your hush.
Sound and Power family, we're closing out. I hope you enjoyed yourself at the revitalization program that we had here. I'm sure you would. If you come to Ghana, you're going to want to take a part of this Panafest. It's a big thing, family. Word, Sound, and Power closing out. One love, family. See you soon.
Repatriation, Royal Nation. You are the key to your liberation. So put it in your meditation.